Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back. Hope you're all doing great. I'm here today to talk a bit about whether or not you should use monofilament backing when you're going to be using braided line. So you may have heard this from different places, different people, recommending that you use monofilament backing if you're going to be filling up your reel with braided line. Now there are two different reasons why you may have heard this, or why people may have recommended it to you, and I'm just going to go over the two reasons why you should use mono backing when you're going to be filling up your entire spool, or you're going to be filling up your spool with braid. So the first reason is probably the most critical and important one, which is that braided line on its own, if you fill it up all the way on a reel such as this one that's in front of you, if you take a closer look, you can see on this reel that it is just smooth metal. It just has a smooth metal surface all around. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but if you fill this all the way up with just braided line, what can happen is, because it's so smooth, has such a smooth surface, and because braid has such a thin diameter and is really slippery, is that it can actually slip on the spool. So right on the part where it makes contact, the knot can actually start to slip. And that is really, really, really bad, because if you're fighting a fish and all of a sudden all your line starts just peeling off and you can't even reel it in, your drag doesn't work, that's going to be a really big problem. So that is one of the main reasons why people will recommend to you guys that you use braided line, or why you would use monofilament, is because on a reel where it's really smooth metal surface like this, it prevents the braided line from spinning off, because that monofilament helps give traction, and it helps provide a bit of friction for that braided line. So that is a really important and critical factor. That's why people will tell you that you need to use it. For example, here I have another reel with me. This is one of my saltwater reels, the Daiwa BG, great reel. And as you can see, it is filled up with a lot of braided line. Now, on this specific reel, I didn't need to put any mono backing because it has a rubberized ring all the way around it. And I'll show you guys what the rubberized ring looks like. I have another reel over here, and right on this reel, you can see there's like a rubber band going all the way around it, right? It's like a rubber band that just completely goes all the way around the spool. And what this is intended to do is it's designed so that it prevents braided line from slipping on the spool. And it gives it a bit of traction so that you don't have to use mono backing. So on my my Daiwa BG over here, I didn't have to put any mono backing on because of the fact that it has that rubberized ring on it, which is really nice. But if I did not have a rubberized ring on this reel, I would definitely want to put a little bit, at least a little bit of mono backing, because I wouldn't want the braid to possibly slip. If you look on really popular saltwater reels such as the Shimano Saragossa, that reel, you can look at it and you can see that the spool does not have one of those rubberized rings around it. It's just completely smooth metal surface, and that is a perfect example of a reel where if you fill that whole thing up with braid without any mono backing on it, and enough force is pulling on that line, it can cause like the entire all that line that's wrapped around that spool to just start spinning on its own, and have no traction and just keep spinning. And obviously that's a really bad thing, because if that happens, your drag doesn't work, you can't even reel the line in, it's completely detached itself from the spool, so to speak. So that is one of the main reasons why people will recommend to you that you use mono backing, is to prevent that slipping from happening with braid. Mono obviously is a cheap line. It's a great choice if you want to use it for backing. But if you don't want to use backing, what you could do is like look at your spool here, and you could like wrap some electrical tape around it, or something that's kind of like got that traction so that your line won't spin, you know. So if you want to just tie braid directly to the spool without any mono backing, you could use like electrical tape, or buy a reel that has one of those rubberized rings around it that I showed you guys, and that will definitely definitely prevent the line from being able to spin so easily. Now the other reasons, other reason, sorry, why that can, why mono can be a good thing is because if you've been fishing for any time now, you'll notice that there are major price differences between braided line. This is some braid, and let me get the mono over here, and monofilament. There are definitely significant price differences between these two. Braid tends to be more expensive. Most of the time, you know, braid is going to be the more expensive, and mono's cheaper. So, you know, if you're filling up your reel and you don't want to spend as much money, you can use a bit of monofilament on your reel as backing, you know, say maybe like a quarter, maybe even half, and then tie on the braid and fill up the rest with braid, so that you can use one whole spool of braid on like 2 of your reels. So those are the main 2 reasons why people say to use mono backing, is the braid slipping, and number 2, saving money. So guys, that is all. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and share on your way out. That would be awesome. And see you guys in the next video.